happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite. That is...
Yo, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the BrawlCast here at the Backstage Brawl. I am your host and moderator, the People's Champion, a.k.a. the Final Boss, a.k.a. Shop Biz Ronnie. And I'm joined here today by Hennessy Bobby Brown, one member of the Sports Show of the Job and Tears Network, my boy, BK Matt, who is currently enjoying himself.
A salmon burger.
You enjoying your salmon burger?
Man, it's not good. I think it was going to be this good. It's pretty good.
And this is episode 149 of the BrawlCast. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a while since we've been on. Some schedule conflicts. Life got involved. But short hiatus is over. We are back. And we're about to get started with the show. Got a lot to catch up on. But at the same time, we're going to give you the same, just a good vibe on the show. But like everything, we start with a vibe check. As you can see, my man's is enjoying a nice salmon burger.
You got Mexican cheese? What's that? So you put Mexican cheese?
You were getting started already, yo. What you doing, dog?
Wild and ignorant. That's crazy. Nah, I ain't never ate a salmon burger. This is good. This is good. So can you put a shirt on? Matthew? That's what we doing? It's Henny Bobby Brown. Don't do that. Yeah, I'm Hennessy. I'm Hennessy Brown and sexy. That's what that is.
Your mama call you Matthew, so I'm gonna call you Matthew.
He didn't have to get that close though. He ain't had to get that close. Honestly, he did not have to get that close.
You didn't have to come that close. That was
like that like it was close, and he got real close.
Give me another one. But I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been working, chilling.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Man, I mean, it's the dog days of summer, no pun intended. No pun intended. It's legit the dog days of summer. Everybody got different responsibilities now. Everybody just, it's a lot going on right now. But we here, man. We here to give y'all,
got done being blown out. That's what this is about. Like a whole thought.
Yo, man. No. Don't worry. I'll be back in Jamaica in November, so I'll be doing that real soon too.
You be going to November?
Going on, Ray? What's going on? Yeah. What's good? Trying to get this thing on Twitter soon. For whatever reason, our Twitter's not working. Let's just say a member of our group has got a job with a major company. Shout out to the Golden Child on accepting the production assistant job, which means I gotta be a little more careful on here in terms of what I gotta say because we got one on the inside now. so
does that mean the fines are gonna be crazy now?
Maybe, but
I'm not
we'll be all right.
Welfare.
Hey, listen, man, I need money, so I gotta make sure that I ain't trying to mess his money up, let alone mine. So I'm just trying to keep everything, on the up and up at the same time. But other than that, man, everything's been good. Just been chilling with the boys throughout the summer. What's good? Shop this in the building. Be a twit. Thank God I'm not a parent yet. Thank God I ain't a parent yet. I'm gonna knock on wood with that one. But before anything, man, first question I gotta ask y'all, to those who's watching, man, did WWE drop the ball on Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business? I'm gonna give y'all a quick backstory as Matt gets ready with his salmon burger. Quick backstory on that. MVP was vocal about the usage of the Hurt Business over the last couple of years and voiced it in a way where he tried to basically, revamp the Hurt Business, and Triple H was basically like, nah. Obviously WWE was going through a transition at the time in terms of vision, creatively. I know those who might have a different, idea of what took place, but that's pretty much what happened. So now they're free agents now. Bobby Lashley and MVP are now gone. Cedric Alexander, who was a member of the Hurt Business, is now in NXT. And Shelton Benjamin, who was part of the Hurt Business, was released a month or two before MVP and Bobby basically concluded their contract. So it's been a lot of talk going on social media and on the internet about Triple H and how he's been booking black talent since taking over from Vince, and the fact that the Hurt Business didn't get an opportunity to showcase themselves as a faction, amongst other things. So what's your thoughts on that?
Do I think that WWE dropped the ball in the Hurt Business? Wait, why I got quiet? Did you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I put myself on mute so you can talk.
All right, so why do I think that WWE dropped the ball on Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business? I mean, I think they could have. What happened? Yeah, I'll say somebody. Honestly, no, I don't think they did. I mean, how far could you have really pushed the Hurt Business without MVP talking? I feel like all of them needed work on the mic. I think Bobby started finding more of his own when he had his own stable. I forgot the name of them. I forgot what they called themselves. Him and Street Profits.
The Pride. They're supposed to be called the Pride. I just called them Bobby and the Profits. I just called them Bobby and the Street Profits.
Horrible name. All right, I didn't like that. But I like the fact that they had B Fab as a mouthpiece because she needed to do something. It was like why have that talent and have somebody that looked that good and not have her do nothing, But
Her business is good for their losses.
I agree. I was down with it when Bobby was the champion. But after a while, it was like you looked at Shelton Benjamin and you looked at Cedric Alexander and you was like, what are you going to do with him? I like that Cedric is finding his own footing on NXT though. But what were you going to do with him? MVP was limited. You couldn't have him wrestle that much. He was the mouthpiece. But honestly, it just lost his luster after a while. So, I mean, I don't feel like they dropped the ball on him. I mean, if you would have brought them back together, what were they going to do? Who were they going to feud with? It only made sense if Bobby was still in the WWE title picture, and we all saw that they were going with Cody and the Bloodline. So, where were they going to fit in that situation? And then you got how was that? What's the name of that group? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. You can tell it's
Judgment Day.
Yeah, you got Judgment Day over there, and they're pretty much behind Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio, and then you're trying to legitimize Damian Priest with that too. So, really, where do you fit Bobby Lashley in that? Where do you fit MVP in that? I like the Authors of Pain feud that they had going on. I felt like they could have built more on that. You could have added MVP to Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, and B-Fast. I feel like that would have worked. But
you could have.
But did they drop the ball? No, man. Everybody has their time in the sunshine. You know how this business goes.
But I got a question for you. Do you agree with the streets saying the fact that Triple H is racist?
Racist? Do I think he's racist?
Yeah. Like in terms of because you know what the word is this week in terms of because of what happened with the Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business.
Bianca, where she said Street Profits. Carmella's got called up, but they're like he's a jobber.
How's he a jobber? He's been winning.
Again, but I'm just following in terms of what social media has been saying, especially a lot of black accounts, whether it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on TikTok. There has been this rhetoric about Trips and how he, whether or not on the side of the fence, do you think people feel like, his racial bias drove the decision and not to basically force the Hurt Business to be, where it's supposed to be? But, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's true? Do you think there's truth to it? Do you think, people kind of wild because, I get they like Bobby because he's black, and third, but
wow. So is the notion is why as people do we gotta like certain characters because they're black? Can we just like them because They're good. I don't like Bianca because she's black. I like Bianca because she's entertaining. She's good in the ring. I like Jade Cargill because she's sexy. She's powerful. She looks the part. Bobby, I don't know. It was just nothing about Bobby that had me intrigued with Bobby. Like even MVP when he was wearing the little jumpsuit and doing the Jim Jones thing, like I didn't care for it. I think the most entertainment I've seen with MVP was with Matt Hardy, version 1. You know, like I think everybody has their moment, and it's like it's in cycles. Bianca's helping Jade get acclimated into the road and being on TV, and like grandfathering her in a sense because you need experience. She's like I think Jade is gaining experience the old way, like how they did in the '80s, where it's trial and error versus them being her and putting her in a plant system and learning that way. So I feel like Bianca's good where she's at. You're building other stars. You're building a Lyra Valkyrie. You're building like a Tiffany Stratton. You're building all of these characters. Like you got new and up and coming stars there that you have to build on and make them legit. So I mean, how can you do that if you got the same people in the same place?
That's true.
Bianca was on top for what? 4 years, 3-4 years.
Before anything
Charlotte
comes
was on top for that long too. So I mean, it's only right to bring in a new guard. I think people reading too much into it, and yeah, it could look very racial, but I don't think that's what it is. I feel like it's more or less like everybody has their time in the sunshine, and you got to start cycling new talent in. I feel like Carmelo is going to find his way because he's a great talent. Right now, he's on SmackDown. Everything is being focused on the bloodline. So he got to get in where he fit in. The U.S. title is in between Logan Paul and LA Knight. And he's somewhere in that mix too. So I mean, Braun Breaker, he was doing it. He had an undefeated streak and then he lost to Sammy.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you got to also look at the fact that he has family ties to WWE. So that's also probably the reason why he's in the position that he's in. But I don't think it's a racial thing. I think they're reading too much into it.
I mean, look, I get a lot of people have their gripes with Triple H, whether it's true or not. I don't think it's reflective of that because of what you see in NXT. I mean, I could be wrong. I just like playing the devil's advocate aspect of it, like my brother normally does. Like playing devil's advocate. Look, Triple H can be, he has his ways about booking. For me, his issue with booking at times, like he kind of drags certain things out longer than it should be, especially if it's trash. So, like, that's more so of his situation. For me personally, I don't like. He might have prejudices maybe because who knows? Like, I don't work there, so I don't know the dynamic of who Triple H is as a boss. But I go off in terms of what I see from morale from other people within the company.
I think the better question should be, since he took over, have y'all not been entertained?
True, but you know how these people, they're gonna look for something like wrong to basically like.
So then we shouldn't feed into it.
Unfortunately, that's the truth.
We shouldn't feed into it. I got people literally hitting me up talking about wrestling and knowing they haven't seen wrestling since the DX Express, the McMahon Helmsley era. Think about it. So it's like that should be the more of the focus. The fact that behind Triple H, WWE is getting more eyes versus it being like, oh, where's all the black talent? I still see Carmelo Hayes on TV. I still see the Street Profits on TV. I see Bianca Belair on TV. I see Jade Cargill on TV. Like
Naomi,
Trick Williams is doing his thing.
Kalani Jordan.
Exactly. What's the bouncy kid? Because I think that's kind of Paul.
Javon Evans.
Yeah, him. Yeah. Like you seeing this black talent. You see the influx of black talent on TV. What are we complaining about? Wins and losses.
I think more so. I think it's more so that I think unfortunately at times for me personally, from what I see, especially on the internet, I do think a lot of black And it's not like the obvious black content creators, but certain people on Twitter that be like, "Yo, man, you know they got to be here because." I'm like, I get it, like they're talented, but not everybody's main event
Material.
talent.
Good.
Not everybody like.
I don't think Carmelo Hayes is there yet.
He's not. Jay's been on that for a minute in terms of.
I think he just got called up because he's been in NXT for like 3 years.
Yeah,
that's just horrible.
That's pretty much the only reason why he got called up.
So I mean, Braun Breaker has it. He's a powerhouse. Boy, run like 20 miles per hour just running the ropes. That's crazy.
No,
and he's Rick Steiner's son.
He different though.
He is. And like, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is like this generation.
Baby Charlotte.
Yeah,
Baby Charlotte.
You got Jay Cargill, who's looking like a mixture of Jazz, Karma, and I can't say Jazz. Jazz is a little unorthodox too. She just got to get her foot in. Once she get her foot in, she's gonna be a force. Like, I feel like people read too much in it, and like it's the equivalent of everybody saying the Cody Rhodes run is trash because he didn't have a major storyline, but now he has a major storyline, and now everybody's like, oh, this is it. Come on, man. You gotta relax. People gotta relax. This is what it is.
No, but you got a point, man. I think a lot of the discourse online is because they want to see so much of somebody on TV, but you got to figure out where to put them. And to kind of close with the Hurt Business, it's like I felt like even if you did push the Hurt Business where you wanted to, they had a shelf life because the Bloodline set was going to be strong enough anyway. So like no matter how far MVP would have took it, more chapters that could have had
more chapters. Way more chapters.
Because people feel like, oh, they dropped the ball with Bobby. Bobby was a 2-time WWE champion. He beat Brock twice.
It goes to my point.
Twice.
What do you want? Right now, Bobby's been on camera, off TV. Why? Because he was injured.
Because he's been hurt.
But he had a storyline with Authors of Pain. I don't really know what they call themselves. Their names is trash. It's like right along with their interest names, but that's neither here nor there. But my thing is on SmackDown, because if I remember correctly, Bobby was on SmackDown. That's only 2 hours, and the goal is to build up these new talents and carry it forward to where you're not looking at Hall of Famers to carry your product. Bobby Lashley is during the Ruthless Aggression era, so he had a short shelf life. Same with MVP. Same with Shelton, which is showing why Cedric Alexander is still there. He's a younger talent.
He's a younger talent, and right now, and immediately you put him in NXT, and you saw what he was able to do in just a short time.
Exactly. My biggest fondest memory is Cedric Alexander in that Cruiserweight Classic. You don't know how many times I watched that match. That match was amazing, and then you saw the crowd reaction. They practically begged Triple H to sign him. Yeah, come on, man. We got to stop making everything a racial thing, man.
No,
especially with WrestleMania was FUBU. It was for us and by us.
Bruh, watching NXT is UPN every Tuesday. So
exactly.
But the thing about it is, I think it's because a lot of people online have their certain biases when it comes to certain stars, and they have their certain issues with certain people, like Triple H. I mean, hell, I have it too when it comes to the Young Bucks in AEW. But
I feel like everybody gets at Triple H because of that Booker T thing. They're not gonna let that go.
They're never gonna let that go.
They're never gonna let that go.
They never. I mean, but they gotta grow up with that. They're never gonna let that. It happened. Look. Book is still with the company, giving them. They giving you Jacob Fatu, and you got Zilla in the pipeline. Yeah. Like, he good. Like, Booker T's name in the game of wrestling is solidified.
He's the definition of paying forward.
I just think that people kind of get into their feelings because it's like, yo, everything, like, especially when you're black in this medium or in wrestling in general, because you're black, everything has to be hive mind. Like, oh, we have to agree on everything. Like, no, we don't.
Exactly.
And like, and them loud motherfuckers that be online, especially some of them who have podcasts, like, they be on their soapboxes being like, yo, you know, such and such and such and such because it wouldn't happen over here. And then those people who are AEW fans, conversely, or whoever fans, the tribalism is ugly online. And sometimes I wish I could slap half these motherfuckers. But
Truth be told,
unfortunately,
I wish they didn't let them go. I wish it wasn't like that because if they're going into this Netflix deal and it's going to get more rated R, I mean, why not have a gang of black niggas just running roughshod like how they did on Raw Underground? I like
you're
that.
right. No, but what I'm saying is in terms of the criticism from outside from people is like, all right, what the fuck do you want at the end of the day? It's like, look, I get it. He's a top talent. You want to be, showcased in a
Is he
good
though?
way.
Is he though? Is he though?
Bobby?
Yeah, is he though?
I would say in terms of like Bobby's a main event talent.
Lately,
But
is he
lately,
though?
no. Lately, no.
Okay.
In terms of, but it all depends on what role you put him in. Like immediately,
That's my question.
So
Where would you fit him right now? You with your book in mind. You have a creative mind. I have a creative mind. Ty has a creative mind. Chris,
you can't
everybody, Jay.
You
Where can you fit him now?
You can't fit him anywhere because Bobby is a main event level talent. You can't necessarily put him in that position because right now Cody is the main guy, and they're grooming Solo to be the next person who's ready. And then on top of that, you're stupid. And then on top of that, you're behind Jacob by 2 years.
You went lower. I can't hear you. You went lower.
Okay. I'm saying because you got Jacob by 2. Who they just got. They just got Jacob.
You have this new influx of talent that you have to build. Like, think about it. Roman's that guy. We all know Roman's that guy. Roman can be off TV for a year. And it benefits the company. Why? Because you're seeing other players in better positions. What's the problem? So we're going to say that they did Roman wrong, they kept him on TV? Come on. Just watch wrestling. Like, why does everything got to be so political?
Because everybody either wants to be right and everybody wants to get their people on. I'm all for getting people on, but it's like you got to go with the story, man. Sometimes it's just not your time, and you got to be like, so well, it's an age thing, but how come CM Punk has his spot, but he's 45? I'm like, look at where they're placing them on the shows.
New flavors of the month, bro. There's new flavors of the month. CM Punk has been gone.
CM Punk's been gone
13 years, bro, and he came back, and it's like it's a breath of fresh air. Bobby's been on TV since he got back. Like, come on, and then and even when he got back, it was a breath of fresh air. So we saw him a lot.
And then now,
MVP,
same thing. So it's like eventually, like when it's somebody's time, like when they want to pull the plug on, when they want to pull the pin on Braun and give him that opportunity. So one of your favorites who's at the top is going to have to take a notch down. Like, do you really want to see another United States title run for Bobby Lashley?
Honestly, I want.
Do you want to see him be? Do you want to see him like fight for the IC title again? Because like now, I think because what you're seeing in terms of the vision, from what I'm seeing, sure, like I get it. Like Bobby should be in a prominent position, but at his juncture, there's no place for him to be at the main event scene when they're building Cody and then building the young guys on one end on
and
Raw,
building
SmackDown.
Damian Priest and
Gunther. On Raw, you're building exactly. So it's like it's hard to do that. Like
no, it's common sense. If you are really paying attention to what they've been doing since Royal Rumble, you would know that they are pushing the new guys. They are building the new guys. Why are y'all mad about all the old guard being kind of pushed to the side? It's kind of the same method that Vince Russo, shout out to Shantice, like it's sort of what Vince Russo was trying to do. Like, all right, these old guys, they're good, but we need to start focusing on the future. We need to start, like, they have a shelf life. There's this thing called, and I'm pulling the curtain back, there's this thing called a bump card. Once it's full, you have to retire. Look at Austin. I can't look at The Rock because Rock shows up whenever the hell he feels like it. It's crazy.
I mean, he's in Hollywood. He's on the board. He gets to do whatever the fuck he wants.
He gets to do whatever the hell he wants. But you saw what the bump card did to Triple H. You saw what the bump card did to Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane, Rikishi. Like, come on, man. Like, it's like you have a shelf life. You have to build your talent. And the one thing I could say about after the Ruthless Aggression era, which like transitioned to the PG era, one thing we all complained about was we kept seeing these old wrestlers taking all of these spots. So now you're getting what you were asking for back then, and it's a problem. Y'all gonna make it a political thing. Come on, bro. I'm not mad at the fact that for the last 4 or 5 years, I got to see people that look like me in top spots. In top spots. I got to see Bobby Lashley as champion. I got to see Big E as champion. I got to see Kofi Kingston as the champion. I got to see Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks main event a WrestleMania. I got to see that. We all got to see that. We got to experience that. And that wasn't just a one-shot deal. That was running for 4 or 5 years, bro. Y'all gotta relax. We gotta enjoy what we're getting, because what we're getting is pretty fucking good, bro.
No, you're right. And speaking of pretty fucking good, I know it's a topic you don't want to talk about because you gave them a marking period, but we gotta talk about it anyway because I have been watching a lot of their content lately.
Me too.
In AEW. So I'm gonna ask you a question. We gotta be honest. So
Okay.
About last time we recorded a few weeks back, we was kind of critical in terms of what AEW was doing. I mean, there's still some hit and misses here and there, but do you think that they're finally starting to turn a corner, considering the fact that they finally figured out their identity as a company?
All right, I gotta go in sections when we're talking about this because there's things that they're doing good and then there's things that they're fucking up still.
Hey man, it's just you and me. It's just you and me today, man.
But
so, you got carte blanche to say whatever.
Swerve passed the market period, but I want to say he passed the market period not because of his placement, because I still think it's fucked up that he's being placed with this Elite versus AEW feud, and I get why. It's like somewhat similar to like when everybody was going against the McMahon Helmsley regime. The McMahon Helmsley faction or whatever. It's something similar to that because they are the authority in a sense. They're the guard. But I feel like Swerve has a better story he could be telling with Hangman. And I feel like it's going to get overshadowed with the control that I guess the Elite has over Hangman because they suspended him. And now they're talking about firing him. But Blood and Guts was dope.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed Blood and Guts. It was the first time. It was the first time in a while that I can objectively look at an AEW product where I'm like, all right, y'all finally did. Okay, y'all did it, but it took them a while because like after the whole Punk fiasco, they've been trying to struggle and figure out where their identity is at. I think now, over the last couple of months, they're starting to figure some things out in terms of where they want to be. My gripe is they got to keep WWE at their fucking mouth, but other than that, it's like I think they kind of found what works for them, and
Jericho
they're just
go.
yeah, you gotta go. But other than that, I think they're starting to figure out where they want to go. They may not have a top guy outside of Ospreay who they want to basically showcase as the guy of the company.
That's more than Ospreay. It's Darby.
It's Darby too, even though Darby doesn't want to like sit and heal because that boy is still hurt.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the story that they told between him and Jack Perry. I love the story that they told.
Same here.
I love the story that they told.
Same here. Like, but long-term booking though.
Yeah.
Long-term booking with that one.
MJF, they're kind of confusing me with.
Nah, MJF. The thing about it is, MJF has always been who he's always been. A low-hanging fruit type of individual who kind of like goes to the past, try to drum up some old ish to make things relevant. Whatever you did that was hot then, I'm gonna remix it and do it better for me. And then however that angle works out, it works out. He did it with Jericho. He did it with Jericho. Did it with Punk. You know, almost did it with Adam Cole, but Adam Cole got hurt. Couldn't do it with Samoa Joe because Samoa Joe don't play that. You know. And we are joined by Saul Forrest.
My guy. How you been?
AKA the Dynamite Kid. We're actually talking nice about AEW, Ty, so you ain't gotta, send the bloodhounds on us. All right. Number one. Number two, we're talking about how AEW turned the corner. We were talking about Blood and Guts and the fact that AEW, at least from me, my point, that AEW has kind of found their identity. They're sticking with an identity, and they're just building off of that at that point in time. But with that said, Kid Dynamite just came from seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. How you
Don't
feeling,
spoil
Tyler?
it.
No, he's
Don't
not
spoil
spoiling it. He's not spoiling it.
I am. Wow. Huh. Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
you
hear
sound
you.
like you sound like Eddie Murphy and Boomerang, bro. You good?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a while since I've been here, so it's I don't know. It's sort of like when you come back to school after the summer break. You're like, I remember this, but it's been a minute.
AEW is a place for you to be your own character, free. You can't do that in WWE. I disagree. You can do that in WWE now.
No,
You said
can't.
that 5 years ago.
No, you
A little bit, they have a little more leeway now than when under Vince.
No, they don't.
You sure?
I know.
Hey,
You know, I know.
oh yeah, that's true. You do know. You know more than me.
But Ty, man, was good. What's the
No,
vibes, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Yes, I came back from watching Deadpool and Wolverine a little bit ago. I went to go get some food. That's why I didn't join right away.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I mean, I really don't have any. I can't say anything without spoiling it, other than I had a very good time. Very, very
Sound like
good time.
Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. That's what you sound like, right?
My man, I went in just like because the Deadpool movies are some of my favorite movies in Marvel. Period. So
because it's a representation of you.
that is my humor. Deadpool's humor is my humor. But even beyond that, like they were also the last movies of the X-Men lineage from Fox, right? Like they were they were continuing that universe, and they did a good job. As far as the AEW thing goes, I can't personally chime in on that because I've been behind on a couple different things now. I know, very unprofessional, but I'm man enough to admit it. I've been behind a bit on a couple different things and a couple different concepts, but I'm catching up slowly.
Ty's enjoying himself.
Yeah, it's been a much more active summer than I thought it was going to be, and I'm so grateful for that. Love the shirt, by the way, man.
Who, me?
Yeah, love the shirt, man.
Thanks.
You know,
I haven't seen my boy Stu in a minute. You gotta shout him out.
You're the fourth person I've seen. No, you look crisp, man. You're the fourth person I've seen with a black T-shirt and a gold chain.
You look crispy, man. You look crispy, man.
Done.
Yeah, Jabba Sam's gonna be fun. Jabba Sam's gonna be fun.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I definitely can't wait for Jabba Sam though. That's gonna be fun.
What else have we spoken on so far? I'm sorry, I'm coming in blind.
We talked.
Triple H is racist, apparently.
Yeah, we talked about that, Bobby, and talked about the Bobby thing and him letting him go.
I asked him real quick because Ty is
all right.
Technically like the booker in the group, right?
Yes, sir.
How would you have booked Bobby Lashley in today's setting with all the storylines currently going on?
How would I have booked Bobby Lashley now?
Yeah, in the Hurt Business. MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and Bobby Lashley. How would you have booked them in today's setting right now with everything going on? When you know that the goal is to build to the future.
So do I book the Hurt Business now as if they reformed or as if they never broke up?
They never broke up.
If they never broke up, I would have. If they never broke up, I would have had them take the place of not the place, but the position that the Judgment Day has been in on Raw for the past couple years. Because in reality, it was them before the Bloodline was even fully, I guess. Well, I mean, I can't really say that, but because the timelines are kind of weird. But they were the other big faction, right? So naturally, if they wanted to keep some semblance of a brand split, and most of the Bloodline storyline was happening on SmackDown, then you'd let the Hurt Business run Raw. And MVP is Heyman's equivalent anyway in that case. So having the Hurt Business... No. I mean, MVP was doing his thing. The only thing was he was given a lot of gimmicky stuff when he was a manager at first. He was going through multiple clients, but when he got Bobby, he got Bobby. And then when he got the rest, he got the rest. So I would have just kept them being the top force on Raw. As far as what they would be doing now, I mean, the question is, would you have kept them a Hurt Business still now? Because remember, this was like in like 2020, the original association with MVP and Lashley. I think the Hurt Business comes in a year later in 2021, if I'm correct.
2020.
So, something like that. So, like, if there's still a thing now, it really depends on how well Shelton and Cedric have progressed, in my opinion. Because Lashley's never leaving the top spot. Like, lowest he's getting is the U.S. Championship, which is not a problem for Lashley. But in the case of Cedric and Shelton, that's more so interesting for me because they were relegated to the tag role. But Cedric could have broken out as like a cocky Orton-ish type if you wanted to go with the Evolution archetype. You also could have had Shelton go on a redemption tour of basically saying, listen, y'all think I'm the forgotten member. And similar to Batista, where nobody was paying attention to Batista in the background, Shelton could have came around and been the guy to break out of the group, ironically enough. So there are a couple of different ways. The way that it currently is now, it would have been interesting seeing if the Judgment Day also appears, I would have liked to have seen the faction war with the Hurt Business and the Judgment Day. Because that's literally just gang warfare.
But my thing with the Judgment Day and why they work today is they're 4 different storylines. And they're hitting they're hitting 3 title lanes, but they're 4 different storylines. They're literally the whole story arc of Monday Night Raw.
If the Hurt Business was in their place and the Judgment Day was the emerging group trying to take their spot, that would have been a giant story in itself that I think people would have enjoyed. And I also think there was the potential for more members to join too.
Like Jade Cargill.
Well, here's the thing. The funny part about the Hurt Business is that it was a black group, yes, but it didn't have to stay that way. In my opinion, you could have had a Jade Cargill in there that's possible. My first choice would have been Shayna Baszler, to be quite honest with you.
I remember they teased that during Raw Underground years back.
Because if MVP is getting his clients from Raw Underground, or he's getting his clients based off of his experiences in wrestling, which also includes his time in Japan, he would definitely be apt to train people who have similar backgrounds. You could have had MVP not training Shayna, but having Shayna join the group because she fits the whole beatdown clan-esque nature of it as well.
Because that's pretty much what it is. It's just a black beatdown clan.
So if that's the case, I would have had Shayna been the woman to be in that group. And having Rhea versus Shayna, who already have a history with the NXT Championship, going after the World Championship for the women, makes too much sense.
I get you.
How many people can,
My whole dynamic of it all was just the fact that I don't think he's racist. I think it's more or less that he's pushing the old guard to the side a little bit and focusing on building the new guard into stars. And I feel like everybody is going to make that into a political thing and make it a racial thing, where it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could possibly be that because I don't know Triple H personally. He possibly could not like black people. I don't know. But I'm not going to read in too much to it. Why? Because I'm entertained by what I've been watching. I've watched Raw. I've watched NXT. I've watched SmackDown. When there was a point in time where we couldn't watch either. Like it just was what it was. But I effectively watched all of it. I'm glad that I kind of got like a first shift, second shift to where I can still watch Raw. It's lit. I'm good on that. NXT, I've been thoroughly entertained with NXT. So to say that they're not pushing black talent, I hear you. They're not pushing them, but they're on TV. Xavier Woods is getting on TV.
The New Day's been on TV every week against the Final Testament. So it's not like they haven't been short on talent or they haven't been short on who gets to basically just, be showcased or featured. Because you see Carmelo Hayes last night against Andrade. Like, just because he had a match where he lost, but doesn't mean he is being bared or whatever. He's still being showcased.
That's not the point. I do think there's truth to what you're saying. Minus the allegations right now because they're just allegations. I'm not going to go into that. Yeah. I think the problem that I had with the Hurt Business dissolution, which Shelton touched upon in his podcast episode with Chris Van Vliet, is the fact that there wasn't a good reason for them to break up. And if there wasn't a good reason for them to break up, then there shouldn't have been much resistance to putting them back together. And I think that
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
And I think that because they didn't, it's like it's one of those. It's sort of like when you watch a boxing fight and you see maybe the fourth punch before the fifth knockout punch. A lot of people focus on the knockout punch. A lot of people don't realize the setup punch is what allowed that to happen, right? Similar here, where it's like everyone's so caught up in the fact that it ended, they don't even realize it could have been put back together. Or maybe the reason why they didn't put it back together is because they didn't want to, or they didn't think they could factor it in a certain way. And they were so used to not having the Hurt Business anymore, they didn't want to put it back in. Like one of the biggest, they could have, maybe they didn't feel they needed it, but they definitely could have used it. And I feel like people keep forgetting when it comes to Triple H, and this is something that's been a thing well before he was in control of WWE, at least from when I watched NXT. There are times where Triple H would leave money on the table with certain booking decisions. Triple H makes mistakes too, and Triple H also is known for, if he doesn't have a plan for you, you're kind of asked out for a while, unless you go somewhere else where you have more of a free-flowing structure where you could kind of do other things. But for a while, you'll be toiling, waiting on the role because Triple H is so focused on something else. I mean, I remember, and I know Chris Jericho isn't the most... he isn't the face that people want to see that much right now. I get that. But I remember him talking about the Festival of Friendship, one of the more memorable Raw segments of the past 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Festival of Friendship. Triple H originally didn't get it.
Yeah.
And at least according to him, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, he was actively trying to not allow that segment to happen the way it was because he didn't get it. And Jericho had to go around Triple H to Vince to get it cleared and have it happen the way that it did. And afterwards, Triple H understood the appeal of what was going on after it worked. Like, it's easy for us to forget that this guy cannot get things, or he might not, or he'll make mistakes. Like, the benefit of the current booking is that there's a lot more common sense.
Yeah.
That's something that's been absent for a while. Very absent for a while. But here's the thing. People are confusing the fact that we're starting to get more common sense with he's perfect. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
He's better. Not perfect. He's better. And him being better has done gangbusters for WWE.
You gotta relax.
What is wrong with that word? It's British. Is it the British?
No. It's a comment that one.
Oh, WWE got rid of juice. Come on, now.
We just got back. Look, we've been good today, man. We've been good with the shenanigans, man.
But what do you call it? As far as Bobby Lashley and MVP goes, if they wanted to rechristen and bring back the Hurt Business wherever they want to go, I mean, 3 of the 4 members are free now. If they wanted to do something even more different, because Hurt Business is the derivative of the Beatdown Clan, they can make another group. They can make a hybrid group, right? I mean, we have the Rascals back, and MSK was a derivative of the Rascals. So, so for me, I wish them the best. I wish them the best as far as the whole how many black talents are being pushed on TV. There are a lot of them getting some good TV time, getting a lot of love from the fans and whatnot. So, yeah, making that argument would be a lot harder. However, direction is key. And as long as they're all given a direction that they can work with and eventually keep climbing up to the top, that's fine. If they are just on TV and they're wasting time, you end up with a situation like Ricochet, where he's consistently on TV, but he ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
Or he's not going to go any farther than where he's at. And if you get that stagnant, then you could have all the TV time in the world. All you're doing is adding more footage to your mixtape.
Exactly.
But you're not getting a ring off that mixtape. You get what I'm saying?
I hate that they're using Ricochet to promote this shit. I hate that shit with a passion, because if there's anybody that I've seen on my TV every week, it was freaking Ricochet. And it was just like, yo, you wanna fall in love with the character, bro, but it was just nothing holding you there.
That's
but
what
the tricks, it was
that.
nothing
Yeah.
holding you there.
I mean, no, Ricochet was starting to get better with promos, but the funny part was a lot of the promo work that he was getting better at wasn't on mainline TV. It was on WWE.com interviews. It was on, WWE Digital. It was on the
Backstage
Bump.
interviews.
It was on stuff that you'd have to be a way more invested fan to even find. So for me, it's like, that's why I brought up the whole he might be stagnant on TV thing, because he's just in the mid card. The highest ceiling he can get is the Intercontinental title. Gunther exists, so that ain't happening. He's on Raw, so he can't go after the other belts. And he's not touching that world chip, so all you're going to see him do is coast, like Contra. Like that's just how it was.
Ricochet's come on.
And what the funny thing is about that certain ceiling thing? A lot of people think a lot of these people can't get past a certain point. They haven't been allowed to even explore that possibility because of how they're being booked. I know people want Ricochet to jump to the other company.
For what?
But
yeah, I mean, you know why? The same reason why they want Bobby and MVP and Shelton to go to AEW or ROH to kind of show off.
He needs to go to.
Having new talent does not make your product better.
It does.
Having
It
great
doesn't.
product makes your product better.
However, because it kind of coincides in terms of the question: has AEW finally turned the corner? Because by doing this, only offsets what they've been building up over the last couple of months, and instead of getting the new talent that they've already gotten, and Mariah May, and then of course now Camille Brickhouse has now debuted this past week on Dynamite. Like I do think that. Thank you. I do think that
Dating with Reptar.
I do think that
What is
in terms of
That's
where
that Kurt Angle.
I think that in terms of where AEW's kind of turned the corner, they finally figured themselves out a little bit. And then like if they were to do that, it only brings them right back to kind of where it kind of went wrong with them in the first place by getting older talent and offsetting what they got with the younger talent. Like just now
saying the same thing like a son of them.
I hear what you're saying, Rand, but I will say this. I'm going to wait until after All Out.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to wait until after All Out is because they're currently working on a media rights deal. They're trying to put on the best TV possible so that they can look good to get. Yeah, they're trying their best to get their negotiations to swing their way. So they're going all out recently, and that's great. Progress is still progress, but if it's only progress for the sake of coasting, like I need to see this. I want to have this conversation again in November. You feel me? That's what I want to. I want to see how far this really goes, or if this is just to keep their head above water.
I like that move. And that pulls a pin on the AEW front in terms of AEW turning the corner. We got what? 2 more or 3? Well, yeah, 2.5. But quickly, this one right here. Over the last month or so, well, basically most of the summer so far, WWE and TNA have had a very fruitful partnership. We're just seeing the Rascals reunite on NXT and TNA TV, which seeing some of the more younger. What you laughing about?
Peacock.
Yo, why? Wait. What? Like, why did that get to your head?
Nah, I kind of agree with Matt here. NBC Plus was an option for me. Like NBC Plus or NBC On Demand, or NBC Tube, NBC off TV, and it's like, yeah, your logo has, Bird, and you could name yourself after Bird. I get Bird, but the Bird name is come on, the Bird don't even like its name. You know what I'm saying? Just like
you guys are NBC too.
The bird would rather be called colorful shit than the peacock.
Anyway, has TNA benefited the partnership? Because obviously we've seen a lot of crossover. Joe Hendry looks like he might be an NXT fixture to close out the summer. We've seen Jordan Grace be featured on NXT TV as well, and of course some of the female talent from the NXT women's division featured in their knockouts division as well. So what's been your thoughts? Do you think that they have benefited off the partnership? Obviously the proof might be in the pudding, considering the fact that Bound for Glory had their largest gate in 10 years. So guys, floor is yours in terms of the question.
They have benefited a bit, yes. I want to say this before we go into our little deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
A huge credit to TNA for the work they've done the past few years to keep their brand afloat, resurrect a lot of interest in the brand, and then the transition to TNA Wrestling earlier this year. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was literally earlier this year they transitioned into TNA. And after losing Scott D'Amore, they still have thrived in the places where they can. So a lot of that gate comes from their work too. I don't want to just put this solely on NXT exposure, but since we're talking about NXT exposure, NXT has more viewers than them. NXT is a bigger platform than them. And they share a similar audience since TNA had a foothold in Florida for a long time. And NXT fans know that. And NXT fans are more markish, so they're going to recognize some of these names. I think it's great that they've gotten some exposure. I say a bit because we haven't even seen the biggest crossovers just yet. NXT has kind of been benefiting more from some big names coming from TNA over to them, right? But in doing that, Jordan Grace brings viewers back to TNA.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry brings viewers back to TNA. The fact that they can use Wes Lee, one of the more prominent names in NXT for the past few years, freely in TNA is amazing. You know what I mean? Kazarian showing up in TNA, a guy who used to be on shows like Velocity and Heat once upon a time ago. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's just the beginning for them. I think TNA is going to get more stars to come over to their brand in the next couple months because something tells me Worlds Collide is coming. We're going to be seeing another Worlds Collide, and I think it's going to get better from there. But yes, huge success for Bound for Glory. Congratulations to them for Bound for Glory. A lot of that comes from their work. But when you have Joe Hendry getting the highest social media numbers since WrestleMania and bringing that back to TNA, you can't.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes.
You said his name.
Yes.
So he said his name. Listen, those are the rules. You say his name and he appears.
Point being, you can't say that NXT hasn't helped them. The question is it going to remain with NXT? Is it going to bleed into other places? And what about the other stars that can cross over that have histories in WWE? Because we saw Ash by Elegance, who used to be Dana Brooke. She appeared. Yeah. Wesley's name.
Where did she appear?
Well, she appeared in the earliest parts of the invasion.
Yeah.
But Wesley, the fact that his name is still the NXT name, he's doing the Rascals thing and this and that, it makes you wonder.
That was funny when they were doing the Treehouse and they did the promo. It was like, wait a minute, your name is Wes? It's like, yeah, over there.
Right.
Say, is it cool for me to say? I'm like, yeah.
But it makes you wonder about what if other people appear like a Tommy Dreamer or a Dolph Ziggler, where it's like they've had a history over there, even though they're under, So we're gonna see. But right now, yes. TNA has benefited I'm not going to say an amazing deal, but they've benefited enough to where it's giving them a level of momentum they haven't had in a while.
Yo, quick question, Ty. Who would you expect from the WWE side, main roster or NXT roster, who would make a crossover to TNA to give it a jolt?
Who from the WWE side should go over to TNA?
We all know who. There's only one.
Who?
I mean, he's saying AJ.
That's the only one.
AJ?
Yeah, it's the only one.
Well, AJ Styles definitely should. I mean, they have him.
I ain't gonna front. You don't think it would be cool if Cody went over there as a WWE champ and then win again? Damn, he shut that down.
If Cody, let me tell you something. That has a higher possibility than people think. But if
That's
Cody's
That's
gonna,
what I'm saying.
but if Cody's gonna appear, it's not gonna be on TNA TV. It's gonna be on pay-per-view.
That's fine. But I'm just
So,
saying, like,
so yeah. If I'm talking about people from NXT right now, I'd say Javon Evans is due to appear there at least
Oh.
once.
of course.
Yeah, for the X division.
No. Did you see the height difference between him and MSK? He can be in the X division, but they're going to want to use Javon as hot as he is right now to go after the TNA title once.
Yeah, just as long as it's not against Muth, I'm fine.
Cedric and Ashante are due.
Oh, if they face
Moose ain't the
ABC,
champion
it's
no
a
more,
wrap.
right?
No. Huh?
Moose ain't the champion no more.
No, Moose ain't the champion no more. But just saying, as long as the champion's not Muth, I'm fine.
Who else is due? I mean, Ethan Page can easily appear because he's been there before. And not
he's
to
the current
mention,
NXT champion. So
and his former tag partner is also a heel now. So that would be an interesting interaction for them to have.
I love it though. I ain't go front and like because Ty was over at the house on Thursday night. Like I've been enjoying watching everything recently. Like I've been getting a chance to watch legit AEW, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, even TNA. Not because I'm black, man. White people watch wrestling too, goddamn. I'm just saying, it's just like I just think right now where wrestling is at right now, the hub that's at right now, I think it's in a good place, which is why I think the crossover, I think TNA has benefited because the interest on both sides is kind of led to what we've been able to enjoy so far, at least in this summer. At least that's what I think.
Is it going to lead to them getting on Peacock?
On the main roster, I will say there are a few names I'd want to see from the main roster go over to TNA. Yeah. So hear me out on this. AJ is obviously at the top of the list, right? Another person I'd like to see go over to TNA, R-Truth. A lot of people forget he's a former 2-time champion over there with the NWA World's title. And knowing R-Truth the way he is right now, if he were to show up in TNA, most guaranteed with his current character, he got lost and took the wrong flight. So gotta have R-Truth. I would say New Day.
Yeah, would.
New Day would be really cool because because Consequences Creed, that is one of the main reasons, but also New Day, it has a legacy of being one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. Yeah. What if they were the first WWE tag team to win a TNA title under WWE contract? What if they won the tag team championship over there? Because with all the talent WWE has right now, they're constantly relying on their old talent, to Matt's point. If they move some of their old talent to TNA and had Xavier and Kofi helping out the tag division over in TNA, that helps with tickets. That helps with sales. That helps the partnership.
So basically, she likes that move. It's a nice move, Tyler, because you're making some good points.
Who's another one that would be good to go over to TNA? I think in terms. Hold on, Karrion Kross does have a history over there.
He does. I think he'd be a lot more interesting over there than he is in WWE right now.
That is an interesting idea. I don't exactly co-sign it on it yet because I do believe if you're going to keep him under this contract, make him do something in this company, please. But I do. There are some other names I do find interesting. Like, for example, who is it on SmackDown? It would be interesting to see Santos over in TNA. I think at least Santos would be an interesting one.
I would like that.
Oh man, who's it told?
I'm trying to think of another person. I think the last person I can think of right now. I promise, guys, one day I'll have a more formal list because I am doing this off the top of my head. But I am curious if there'll be a day where Dominic appears, because I could see Dominic doing the Jerry Lawler ECW thing where he's like, what is this second-rate bullshit you guys have me on? This is where you guys sent me, this and that. And he goes on like he's just trying to make TNA seem bad, and then he's playing, the quintessential getting my ass kicked.
I do think Metaphor should go, or Metaphor, whatever the fuck they call it.
Metaphor would also be dope.
Would go dope. He's got to wait for Noam to get healthy.
There is one name from TNA I would like to have come over to WWE or to NXT at least, and I know some people are probably gonna be like, "What?" Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight from TNA. I would love to see him over in WWE because he essentially is their Javon over there, and I've watched him since New Japan. So I would love to see him come over to WWE, and everyone just goes, "Who the hell is this guy?" And he just electrifies and lights that whole place up. So yeah,
he said, "Give us a North reunion."
that's coming. I already said that's coming.
Pause.
What is son? Yo, your mind isn't even in the gutter, bro. That shit burning in hell. What is wrong with you?
Listen, yo, you know it's funny because we've been good. We've been actually strayed away a lot from the hijinks than normal weeks because it's our first week back. We've been good today. We've been good today, but
not to say, man. Come on, man. You got the business haircut and everything. Let's stay professional out here, all right?
I mean, he's in a new professional line of work now. So
yeah. Oh yeah, you got a new line. What do you do, man?
I work in the prison.
He's the big boss man.
Oh man, he's the authority. He's the one carrying the big stick around. Pause before you say pause.
Oh man,
I see you, man.
Watching, yes.
Yeah, circle debate.
Come on, man.
Shout to you, Ivan. Shout to you.
But yeah, that's all I got to say really on the TNA thing. Sorry for the ramble.
Nah, it's cool. I think it kind of works out because we're about to close out here. We got pretty much 2 more things to go. Basically next week is SummerSlam. We're basically at the end of the show. So next week is SummerSlam. We know what matches are basically set up. What are you guys looking forward most to SummerSlam?
LA Knight.
Yeah.
We might finally get to see LA Knight get belted after waiting a year for this. How is that part? Yo, bro, like do you what do you be watching in your spare time, bro? Your brain
crazy.
What it
wild.
Belt he's gonna get
no.
Come on, man, he's gonna get the championship.
He's gonna get the W. Just call it that. Yeah.
What championship is bad too?
No. Championship is fine.
What, you thought I said he was gonna get straps? Come on, man. This is like
what is going on?
What do you mean what is going on, bro? No, there's a hypocrisy. No, there's a hypocrisy in this community. Y'all know context. We're grown. We know context clues. Stop adding context that ain't there. You know what?
I ain't doing it today though.
No, Rand, you don't understand, bro. I'm confused. I can't say the word belted, but somebody can slap somebody's ass after a good shot in basketball. That's okay.
I don't do that at all. No touch.
Huh? You see, no, but that's kosher. But I can't say belted.
No, it ain't.
What is this?
Good shot.
Who are you pointing at, Jesus? Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it should be. Everyone to be slap ass from Key and Peele.
So Ty is looking for most of SummerSlam in terms of LA Knight winning the United States Championship with Logan Paul. What are you most looking forward to, Matt?
I can't lie. I'm actually looking forward to Damian Priest and Gunther.
That's what I'm looking forward to too.
I'm looking forward to Damian Priest and Gunther.
WWE has the ability. They have the chance to do the funniest thing.
They do.
No, you don't understand, bro.
I don't know what you about to say.
No, what do you mean? No. Hear me out. Nah. Let me use all the Twitter terms. Walk with me. Yeah, hear me out. Yeah, you feel
Gresh terms?
Now, Gunther, remember, Gunther hit that Triple H promo a couple weeks ago, and I was laughing. You want to know why I was laughing?
I was too.
I was laughing because I was like, this motherfucker did it again. But the funny part was, instead of the internet that's usually uber sensitive talking about how could he say that? That's preposterous. Instead, they went, see, I told you Gunther's a good promo. I was like, what? I said, excuse me. So you're telling me, and first of all, he's always been a good promo, but it took the pseudo walking the line of racismo for y'all to sit here and tell me he was a good promo. And then if I rewind 20 years earlier, y'all were outraged in 03 when we should have cared less. And let me tell you something. The reason why it's the funniest thing is because People been waiting for Booker T to be avenged for years.
Hold on, hit that
And
subscribe
look
button.
at where we are. Look at this. This time, Gunther should win. But if Damian Priest won and avenged Booker right now, hey, man, I'm just saying, back in 2007, Triple H faced Booker at SummerSlam, too.
Yeah.
And that didn't end well either.
I was there.
You know what I'm saying? Why? That was one of the worst SummerSlams ever.
I didn't want to be there, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
Why would you do that to yourself? You watched Khali and Batista in person?
Wasn't happy about it.
Why did you do that?
I had free tickets.
What is that?
That's like watching shit mold. Why would you even suggest?
No, a lot of the events that I went to, it didn't make sense. Like, I remember when DX first came back and they came to New York and they got jumped in the parking lot and we didn't get to hear the music or nothing. You know how pissed we was in the garden?
Yeah, I know you were pissed not to hear the word suck it.
Yeah. Pause. That's crazy.
Hey, man.
Boy, stop.
Oh, he heard that? Let me talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Just thanks for sharing the link. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for giving us the link. I would have never got it otherwise. Because people be mean to me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever gives me nothing.
To those just tuning in,
I'll be having sad Christmases.
To those tuning in and new to our stuff, we are the Backstage Brawl. We have fun mostly on these shows. We fantasy book. We do a whole bunch of stuff. We give y'all the real.
We give y'all life advice. Don't watch Batista versus Khali.
That will not be on Eric's match of the week.
You know what I'm saying?
and be mindful of the word peacock. It's crazy.
It's a bird. I promise it's a bird. If you got something else on your Google search, I'm looking at you, Cross, because not only did you spell it wrong, you weren't trying to find what we were trying to find. Man. You know what I'm saying? Man. I'm giving y'all life advice. Be careful when you press them keys. Hopefully they don't stick.
I got it.
All right. All right, now you head out. I'm going to close out with time.
All right, yo.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace, man.
Hennessy Bobby Brown signing off this week. But
hell yeah.
But next week, I believe there's a watch party in the city from the Jobber Tears podcast as they host it. I believe, I'm not sure it's going to be at Legends or the other place in the city. I got to find out. I might consider actually going down there for a watch party next week and seeing what's up. And but next week, we are back in the booth, hopefully with everybody -1 because he can't necessarily come on here anymore. Next week we got we're gonna talk about the advantages of the number 2 promotion. Obviously, I'm gonna preface it real quick before I hand it off to Kid Ty. Basically, me and Ty were in the living room. One time we was chopping it up and we were talking about we talk so much about WWE. And in terms of Matt gotta relax. Yes, he does. He does, Ray. He definitely gotta relax. In terms of WWE, we talk about WWE ad nauseum in terms of their booking and everything, ever since our inception of our podcast. And then, of course, with AEW coming in the picture and everything else, I don't think we give secondary promotions enough shine or attention in terms of at least what they should do to, grab our attention, because WWE is basically in layman's terms, they're like the NBA, they're like FIBA and G League and other different types of leagues. So in terms of comparing them. So to better decode what the fuck I just said, here is Kid Ty. Kid Ty, take it away.
All right, how you doing? Second promotions have a lot of pros and a lot of cons, and sometimes as fans we either overlook certain things because of the second promotion and we don't treat them fairly, or we we give them too much crap because they're not like the number 1. So the discussion is basically to talk about all those things, put everything on the table. What are the pros of being a secondary promotion? What are the cons of being a second promotion, a number 2 or a number 3? What are the things they should strive to have? Like, you would think being in the number 2 spot, you'd want to be at number 1. But when you have something as feeling as insurmountable as a WWE, right? Do you take advantage of the fact that you're in your position and be an alternative? Something that people have told TNA for years, that's what you should have did instead of trying to jump too high. Or do you encourage them trying to go higher and higher? Maybe they could be the sneaky thing that kind of starts to catch fire and become the thing. Sort of like when Mike Tyson came in during a dead 80s period of boxing and made boxing number 1 again. So, like, it makes me wonder. And it made me wonder enough that I wanted to bring the conversation and the discussion to the people. We can make it more of an open discussion, or we could, just bring our points and see how the people feel. But it's definitely something we want to talk about. If it's next pod, it's next pod. If it's not, then I hope to talk about it with y'all pretty soon.
All right. Next week, we'll be back basically talking more so about the disadvantages of the the advantages of the number 2 promotion, and as well previewing, giving you our takes in terms of who we got winning at Survivor Series. To those that joined the chat, thank you guys for being, for keeping us company, chiming in, tapping in, giving us your thoughts in terms of, what we're talking about today. We talked about a lot, and we got this done under 120. Yes. But other than that, man, listen, it's good to be back. Love AEW. I'll be here. I'll be there for sure. Yeah, man, tap in. We talk about AEW. We talk about everything. We talk about basically everything.
How do they feel about the later start time? My bad to interrupt, but how do they feel about jumping a little bit later in the day? Did it work out for you?
It's funny because I didn't necessarily specify a time, and I didn't necessarily put it on Twitter. I just wanted to put it out, just to kind of just talk to the people and just see how today went. I'm kind of happy with how it went because it's like there was it was focused today. It wasn't as like normally how we kind of fly off the handle and joke more rather than talk serious. We kind of we had dialogue today, so I'm kind of happy about that.
I was trying to convince the guys a year ago maybe moving later in the day would allow for more people to kind of even out because that 3 to 4 period. I know some of y'all not doing anything crazy substance and y'all just want to chill and listen to something maybe while you're doing your laundry, maybe while you're having a little bit of water because we all dying out here, hydration. So yeah, if y'all are feeling that time thing, maybe we could work something out. If not, I mean, this is a great kind of surprise to have in the schedule.
I will say this though before we go. How would you guys feel if we did a show midweek? How if we did the proposed episode that we just talked about, the topic of the number 2 promotions? How would you feel if we did it middle of the week?
No, y'all got to give me some time to keep writing.
I mean, again, it's the summertime. It's one thing if it's like fall and everybody's like working and back into work, the flow of everything. But it's the summertime. There's some dead space. I figured to get some extra stuff out because it has been 2 weeks since we've been out.
Fair enough. Y'all let us know what you want, how you feel about times, how you feel about different days. Hopefully y'all will be dedicated regardless, but we understand it's an adult world. Everybody got their schedule, so let us know.
Everybody's adults, but for the most part, man, just keep please. Thank you guys for joining us. Please share, like, subscribe, especially to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at @Backstage_Brawl. Follow us at the Backstage Brawl on Instagram, Facebook. Where else? Again, catch us on our YouTube at the Backstage Brawl. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, so anytime we come on and like drop shorts or whatnot, you guys, already tapped in. And thank you guys for those who are tapping into the the live chat. Anytime the live chat is very interactive, it gives us a good some good energy in terms of how we doing the show. So we respect to y'all, much love to y'all on this weekend because I know like y'all could have been doing anything else, but some of y'all spent some of y'all time in the afternoon to listen to us ramble, talk about wrestling, fantasy book, joke around, and all that stuff. But with that said, it's been a while. We're back, and next week, next week will be episode 150. So,
150.
And ironically, so it's going to be a themed episode produced by your boy Kid Ty. Of course, me and Ty will be tapped in later this week to figure out, when he'll like to release it, because I would like to have Eric on the show, and considering he works on weekends, I'd rather have him on the show sometime this week. Anywho, to everybody here, I ain't gonna give y'all a match of the week because it's definitely not Kali versus Batista. I'm not giving you that ass of a match. Let's see.
You ever watch Diarrhea in real time?
Keep it up with the SummerSlam tradition. I'm gonna give y'all a match to watch, and why I'm gonna give y'all a match to watch, and somehow it's kind of resurfaced 27 years later. You'll know what I mean when I say it this week. SummerSlam 1997 World Wrestling Federation Championship match between The Undertaker and Bret Hart, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. That is my match of the week. Reason why I say that, because the elements of this year's SummerSlam has it in a certain match with a certain special guest referee. Do with that information if you will. But when it comes to that, that has been the show today here at the BrawlCast. I am your host, your moderator, the People's Champion. Thank you to everybody that chimed in with their, on the live chat. To Respect the Craft, Gianna, Circle of Debate, Vaughn every week as well. Vaughn is always a riot in the chat. And to new people that joined the chat via our Facebook page. This has been the BrawlCast episode 149. We will see you guys next week. For myself, the People's Champion, Kid Dynamite, aka Saul Forrest. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah.